going on, LABPOD fam? Prince and George here, episode 11, Lions and Bears podcast. In no particular order series, we're tackling the theme of overcoming. If you guys remember where we left off, I was down in Los Angeles, Arts Media Sports Ministry. From there, I moved to Southland, LA. And let's just say this was the toughest 6 months of my ministry walk up until that point. Living out my purpose. And I started to experience an emotion, maybe we can relate, called bitterness. Now, here's the challenge with bitterness. It's sneaky. And for me, I was in denial. I was in denial for a while. No, I'm not bitter. That was the wrestle. That was the challenge. First, I had to acknowledge it. Number one. Then I had to ask myself, why? Why was I feeling this way? I just couldn't shake it. It skewed the way I was looking at relationships, my interactions, and ultimately I just wasn't happy. But I'm supposed to be living out my purpose. I'm supposed to be happy. This is supposed to feel good. And for me, when it comes to overcoming, because I really hadn't experienced this before, I could sleep it off in the past. This one I couldn't sleep off. I just had to go, okay, I'm bitter. I'm bitter. It's okay. I mean, it's not okay to stay there for too long, but it's okay. Then I had to ask myself, why? Why was I bitter? Here's what I pinpointed. I wanted to choose my next destination. I didn't really understand why I was where I was at the time I was there. I wanted to stay in one place long enough to see the fruit of my labor, which everybody wants to do. You put in blood, sweat, tears. You want to see some good results that come from it. Now, I felt like I wasn't in a place long enough to actually see that. At least that's where my emotions were at that time. So I acknowledged it, asked myself why, but I still couldn't shake it. I go, what's issue? What's the next step? How come I can't just get over this? And here's what I learned. I would have to live out my purpose in a bitter state, knowing that what? I'm still called to this purpose. And I got to be honest, for a split second, I thought about it. Is this worth it? I mean, it was literally a split second. Should I take a step back? No. I think my fear was that with man and individuals that make decisions, I was starting to lose trust in God. And this was a good test for me when it comes to overcoming. Am I going to trust God despite everything else, all the other circumstances? Yes. One and done. And then I had to live out my purpose in this state. I'm battling. Okay, not happy. Okay, gotta shake it, fight, pray, get advice, be open. My wife was like, "You okay?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm struggling right now." Now here's what happens when you persevere. Despite feelings, despite emotions, I think God did this for me. He made it obvious why I was where I was. He didn't take away my bitterness, but he gave me a reason why I was where I was that only he could give me. So on the campus one day, doing some ministry, reaching out by myself. Imagine how I felt. Is this worth it? While I'm here, etc. And I reach out to an individual. And when I tell you she was looking for God, like she was like looking for an individual that could sit down with her, study the Bible with her, she basically reached out to herself. And I go, okay, God, I get it. I'm here for her. I'm here for her. And not just her, but individuals like her. She goes on to do great things, maybe even greater things than what I'm doing right now. What's the message? We all have feelings. We all have emotions that we have to overcome. Sometimes we can't shake them. What do? We persevere despite emotions, despite feelings, until we get the answer that we need. But we never quit and or give up on our purpose. Love you guys. Again, episode 11, LABPOD. Watch out for the next one, episode 12. Much love. See you soon.